Hey, what's going on, everybody? I am Adam. This is Open Late, and tonight I am opening the Star Wars Vintage Collection Ewoks. This is a two-pack. These are sort of the colors based on the TV series. I love Ewoks. I love sort of all things Ewoks. Return of the Jedi is my favorite Star Wars movie. It always will be. But that being said, I also enjoy the two Ewok movies, the Battle for Endor and the other one, Caravan of Courage. I think I remember. I as a kid, I just knew them as the Ewok movies. And as a kid, I wasn't really familiar with the cartoon. It wasn't until Disney Plus that I maybe ever watched the show. So I didn't really know Nisa as a character, but I love the Ewoks, and um I knew that this had come out. I didn't at the time collect vintage collections, so this was sort of a weird one. I really wanted these, but didn't know if they fit in my collection or where they would fit in my collection. But now, as I've sort of gotten into some more 1/18 stuff by way of Cyberzoic, I have gotten into the vintage collection a little bit more, and thankfully, luckily that this is still sort of out there floating around, and so I was able to pick this up. So I'm pretty excited about it. I don't know what I'm gonna. This comes with coins. I don't know what I'm gonna do with the coins, where I'm gonna put them, because these are gonna get opened. I don't know if this is meant. I don't know. Like, are people buying these as a collectible? I don't know. I'm buying these as a toy, so I'm gonna be opening them up. On the front, of course, we get the sort of cartoon accurate Ewoks, with the logo up there. It's just showing the two figures that you get. On the top, you have the two figures plus their coins. On the bottom, legalese, lame. On one side, we get sort of the Nisa side, and then on the other side, we get the Wicket side, Wicket W. Warwick. And then on the back, more from the animated series there, with sort of all the characters from the series, and then, the contents of the box there. And then more legalese. I don't know why there's legalese on the bottom and on the back. I always wonder if they couldn't just put it in one spot and be done with it. But anyway, I don't care. I'm opening it. I don't think I'm going to keep this outer package. With the vintage collection stuff, I have been keeping some of the card backs. Just because they don't take up any room, but I don't know why. I don't know why I'm keeping the card backs for vintage collection. It doesn't, they don't serve me any purpose, but anyway. Let's crack this open, get these out of the box. I cheated and cut that tape ahead of time. Oh, they're brighter than I anticipated. There you go. On the card, we get Wicket and Nisa. I'm going to adjust this just like that. Yeah, Wicket and Nisa, they are very, very small, as expected. I mean, they're Ewoks in a 1/18 scale. in a 3 3/4 inch scale. So they're I don't know, 2.5 inches, 2.5 inches, somewhere in that range. But you get these really nice card backs, which I guess are worth keeping. I don't know literally what I'm going to do with them. On the back, you get the call out to the other figure that you get in this pack. So I don't really know how much of a cross sell that really is. The cards appear to be the same on the back and on the front. Of course, you get slightly different art, which is cool. And then there they are, in the package. I love them. They're adorable. They're Ewoks, and there you go. Let me just very quickly say hello to folks in the chat here. Imperius Rex collects. Hello, it's Ewok time. Collecting Brothers is here as well. Brian Brink and GI Jetman. Good to have you guys all here hanging out while I open some toys. Just going to be a quick one today. I am, just kind of trying to get back into the swing of things, back into the rhythm of doing these Wednesday night videos and Sunday afternoon videos. And I'll admit, it hasn't been that hard not to do them. I have definitely found other things to do, but I do have lots of toys to open. So, my thinking is if I do these videos, it actually sort of makes me take some time to open some toys. Otherwise, they would just pile up and pile up and pile up. So anyway, I think I'm going to open Nisa first, actually. Wicket is, my favorite Ewok. Obviously, is there another choice for favorite Ewok? But Nisa, I've sort of grown to love Nisa. I actually have like this weird Nisa kind of plush toy with like a vinyl head that goes in this little sling that you can kind of, and I have a Wicket as well. I don't know what the name of the series was that they did, but they did, some figures. I think there's a Greedo, and I think there's a Chewbacca, and like. And they're weird. They're like stuffies that are meant to be like they're like Muppet Baby equivalents of like Star Wars characters, and then they come in these little handbag things. I don't know. Anyway, I have Wicket and Nisa in that, and now I have Wicket and Nisa in the vintage collection. But anyway, let me get this open. For that, I will need a blade. I'll try not to cut myself while I'm live here. I used to do this with a much bigger knife. But that knife is also a kitchen knife, and we needed to cut, foodish related things. And I realized that cutting plastic with it, probably not the best idea. Probably dulls it. Also probably makes difference in food stuff. So I stopped doing that. There's a card, Nisa, with everything cut off. So that's the card back, which, like I said, I'll keep. Actually, I'm going to cut Wicket off the card as well first. And then I'll take a look at both of them at the same time. That kind of makes more sense, doesn't it? So as I said, as a result of Cyberzoic sort of coming down the pipe here, I've been slowly kind of stockpiling different 1/18 stuff. So, Joy Toy figures and play sets, and some Star Wars vintage collection stuff. But I was buying sort of vintage collection stuff that was sort of like playset type stuff, and I just started seeing more and more vintage collection stuff that I wanted, and so now I kind of feel like I'm collecting vintage collection, which is good and bad. I think I'm sort of getting into the vintage collection as it's getting better. But there's a lot of stuff that I missed that I still want. And so now I'm kind of playing catch up. Thankfully, some of it's on sale, but some of it's more expensive. So it probably averages out to being like I'm just paying normal price for stuff that came out years ago. Yeah, Kelly said the movies are very much underrated. I think, you know what I think it is? I think the Ewok movies are like the first. Whoa, that's actually like a real metal coin. Kind of feels that way. Get my filthy fingers on it. Oh, okay. Well, we'll take a look at that. I feel like the Ewok movies were sort of the first instance of the Star Wars fandom that we sort of know and love today, that knows Star Wars but doesn't seem to love it. Because I feel like there's a lot of there's like a lot of hate, I think, for the Ewok movies, which I don't really understand. Are they good? No. Are they fun? Yeah. Do they, diminish the value of like Empire Strikes Back? No. So I don't know why everybody gets so angry about it. All right, let me tighten up the shot, because otherwise it's just gonna be a whole lot of empty shot and just a tiny little Ewok there. So I'll try to do this quickly and try to do it one time. I'm gonna go like that and adjust my light, and I can even do this. Tighten it up even more. So, that'll probably work fine. They're pretty cute. First impression, they're cute. And G.I. Jetman said, I love my Ewoks. Can't wait to get more Black Series Ewoks. Yeah, me too. What do we have? 3 Black Series Ewoks, I think, which is not enough. I mean, I don't know how well they sold. I mean, maybe they didn't sell that well, but maybe they did. Maybe we should get more. I would love more. I would keep buying them if they would keep making them. I am now, like I said, with getting into vintage collection, I'm now playing catch up on Ewoks, and thankfully, there's only about that many in vintage collection, apart from a couple Kmart exclusive packs, which I don't know that I will ever get, just based on price. But I would like to, if I ever sort of come across them at a decent price, I would probably try to pick them up. But anyway. The Ewok movies are in Disney Plus. They absolutely are. I haven't watched them in a long time. I plan on watching them with my kids. We kind of binge Star Wars stuff in May. So this year we did, we basically did all of the 9 films, and started Rebels. But they're still kind of young. So there's some stuff that they still, I don't know. My 9-year-old wants to watch Mandalorian. With Mandalorian and Grogu coming out fairly soon now, I probably have to watch 2 seasons of Mandalorian, then 1 season of Book of Boba Fett, then Ahsoka, and the 3rd season of Mandalorian. I can't remember what order they're in, but we'll probably watch all those, and then we'll probably go to the theater together to watch Mandalorian and Grogu. But yeah. You talking about the ones that we've seen so far? I can't even remember. I'm bad with names. I'll be totally honest. Like, I know that those are, 2 big Ewok. I think those are 2 that we don't have yet in Black Series, but those are 2 that I would want. We have Wicket, Poplu, and Tebow, I think, so far. Right? Is that right? The 3 that we have, Wicket, Tebow, and Poplu. I think those are the 3. Feel free to correct me. Brian Brink, Kmart. Yeah, they go back a ways. They go back a few years. Like I said, I don't know that I'll ever get them because they're quite old at this point. There's a Wicket that got reissued that I'm trying to track down. That actually comes with the green cape as an alternate sort of cape, which is actually, I believe, from the cartoon, not from anything else. So I'm trying to get that one. I think there's a Tebow Paplu. And then I think there's actually a low gray and a Chief Chirpa in vintage collection, but maybe not. But I want all of them. I want all the Ewoks. Because because why wouldn't I? Anyways, here's Nisa. Small but mighty. Articulation at this scale is pretty limited. I mean, you get articulation at the shoulder, but there's no bicep. There's no sort of arm cut at all. So, the arm goes up and down and sort of out. There's not a ton of articulation in the arm apart from at the wrist. Then the legs go out. That's about it. There's there's a joint there. You could see the disc, but yeah, not much out of that. The foot rotates and has a disc, so you'll get that, but it's in there pretty tight. Yeah, not much in the way of articulation. I'll be perfectly honest. It's not, but I didn't buy it thinking that it was going to be, the most articulated figure ever. There's decent articulation in the head, but with the capes and things, again, I don't know what you'd really expect. You get a little bit of left, right. I feel like Ewoks have that kind of dog thing where when you speak to them, they're kind of gonna tweak their head, but it doesn't stay because of the cape. She comes with the rope with the rock on it, which I guess you use like a grappling hook type thing, and then her satchel. Those are separate pieces. The hood is also a separate piece. So I think you could pop this off if you wanted to. You probably just pop the head off of the ball joint, and away you go. And the rope is a separate piece too, so that can come off. You could probably give that to Wicket or whatever. The sculpting on these is quite nice. Like the lack of articulation aside, this is too tight now. I don't like this. Hold on. That's better. It gives me a little more room. A little more room to breathe. Yeah, I mean, articulation aside, the sculpt's quite nice, and for what they are, price point and stuff like that, they're not that bad. I mean, I'm certainly not disappointed at all in Nisa. Let's take a look at Wicket as well, which again, the chances of me being disappointed in Wicket are effectively zero. So, so there's Wicket. That is a very, very orange cape. And I know, when I'm looking on my screen, it looks like a nice kind of pumpkin orange. In person, it borders on neon orange. It is very, very bright. And he comes with a little pouch as well, which I think might be the same as Nisa's, just a different color. Yeah, and then his sort of orange cape there. There's a strap that goes across his chest, which is molded to the cape. So that's one piece. And then that strap's just painted on the orange plastic. Same articulation for him. Probably, like I'd be willing to bet money that it's the same base body. So you're going to get the same articulation or lack thereof. But, still very, very adorable nonetheless. Yeah. He also, of course, comes with his spear, as he should. Wicket kind of always has that. Almost, it's his walking stick too. Let's be honest. Little Warwick Davis in there. Needed his little walking stick. He was like 12 years old when he was Wicket in Return of the Jedi, which to me is bonkers. He did such a good job. We also get these coins, as I said. So you get Nisa. I don't know how well that's going to show up. a little too much glare. Let me see. But you get a nice sort of image of Nisa there. Probably not showing up very well. Ewok Princess, of course. And then on the back, you get a little bio, actually, of Nisa. I don't know if you're going to be able to make that out or not, but I can read it. Courageous and kind, Nisa embarks on adventures with her Ewok friends on Endor's forest moon. Cool. Will that stay in there? Maybe. And then we get Wicket's coin as well, so you get a nice sort of image of Wicket there. Ewok Scout, it says at the bottom. And then for Wicket's little bio, it says Wicket's friendly, adventurous, and mischievous nature makes him a leader among other young Ewoks. It makes him a leader. It also means that he doesn't always listen as well as maybe he should. Gets them in trouble all the time. Yeah. GI Jetman says, I loved him and his son's cameo in Rise of Skywalker. Did I miss that? What? Oh, you mean Warwick Davis's cameo. Okay. I was like, I thought you meant Wicket. I thought you were saying that Wicket was in Rise of Skywalker. And I was like, wait a minute, there's no Ewoks in Rise of Skywalker. Or was there? No, there was not. Yeah, these are great. I mean, this is a great little 2-pack, and I think it's pretty affordable. Like, you can kind of get it on sale if you're so inclined. If you're into Ewoks like I am. I don't know. Part of me is like debating getting another set and just leaving them in the package, because they're just cute and they're from the animated series. So they feel like a piece that I could have on a shelf and look at and kind of enjoy. But then again, just keeping the cards might be enough. Maybe I don't absolutely need to have them sort of mint on card, so to speak. Anyway, that's it. Like I said, just a short video, just to sort of keep on task, keep on target, so to speak, for sort of getting back to doing this more regularly. I'm trying to plan out the next few weeks so I sort of know what I'm doing, so that I can post the notifications for the videos earlier rather than an hour before I go live, just so that people have an idea of when and what I might be up to on any given night. But it's been fun hanging out. It's been fun opening these, short but sweet. As I always say, it's always more fun to open toys with friends. So thank you guys for hanging out and just checking out my toys. Until next time, guys. Bye-bye.